All right, let's talk about India's 12 five-year plans. If you've ever tried to memorize them, you know what a headache it can be, right? It just feels like this wall of dates and objectives that's impossible to get over. Well, guess what? Today, we're going to fix that. I've got a super simple method that's going to help you lock all of this in your memory for good.
I mean, it's a totally fair question. You've got 12 different plans, right? Spanning decades of history, each with its own goals, its own context. It seriously feels like you need a PhD just to keep them all straight. So if you've ever struggled with this, trust me, you are so not alone.
But what if I told you there's a simple two-part trick to master them all? Seriously, we're going to use a really cool story for the first few plans and then a simple code for the rest. And I promise this stuff is going to stick. So you ready? Let's dive into the story first. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our journey kicks off right after India's independence. And to get a handle on the first four plans, all you need to do is follow the story of one man. Let's call him Raghu. He's a symbolic farmer, and his life, well, it pretty much mirrors the challenges and the dreams of the entire nation. So picture Raghu's world. On one hand, the country is finally free, politically. But for him, on the ground, his land is barren. His family is hungry. And that single, powerful drive, that desperate need to just feed people, that is the absolute key to understanding the very first five-year plan. So what did that mean? It means the first plan was all about survival, pure and simple. The government had one job: get water to the fields and grow food. That's it. So for Raghu, this meant canals were being built, his fields got water, and for the first time, his family had enough to eat. It was that basic, that fundamental. Plan 1, feed the nation. Okay, so with a full stomach, Raghu immediately hits a new problem. His plow? It's made of wood. He's got no modern tools. So the question becomes, how do you grow more food? And that brings us to the second plan. The focus shifts, and it's a huge shift. We go from farming to building the tools for farming. This was the birth of India's whole industrial dream, right? We're talking steel, machines, factories, a move that would shape the economy for decades. For Raghu, this meant seeing a tractor on his land for the very first time. Imagine that. So now we have food in the fields and tools coming from Indian factories, and you can just feel this new sense of confidence starting to bubble up. Raghu felt it, the whole nation felt it. He could finally say, hey, my farming is my own, my tools are my own, my hard work is my own. And that feeling right there, that's the heart of the third plan, self-reliance. The goal was for India to stand completely on its own 2 feet, in the fields and in the factories. But then disaster strikes. Just as the third plan is getting going, gaining all this momentum, 2 wars completely drain the country's resources. All of Raghu's progress is suddenly at risk. The government has to pivot everything, every rupee, every bit of focus, to defense. The plan just stops. It gets halted, leading to this 3-year gap we call the plan holiday. All that momentum, gone. The nation had to hit pause and regroup. You know, this massive setback taught the nation a really hard lesson. Self-reliance is a great goal, for sure, but what good is it if you can't survive a crisis? And that is the key to the fourth plan. It basically took the goal from the third plan, self-reliance, and added a super important new piece, stability. The idea was to build an economy that could not only stand on its own, but could also take a punch and keep going. So that's Raghu's story. It's a great little narrative that gets us through those first 4 foundational plans. Now for plans 5 all the way through 10, we're going to switch gears. We're moving from a story to a simple code. Think of it like a series of quick, easy word associations that are honestly just as easy to remember. You'll see. Okay, ready? For the 5th plan, think of a fist. 5 fingers making a punch. This was the plan to literally punch out poverty and get a handle on crazy inflation. Simple, right? Then for the 6th plan, think 6th sense. This is when the focus shifted to using our brains, our collective intelligence, our 6th sense, to really push for new technology and modernize the economy. Next up, the 7th plan. For this one, remember the Hindi word sath. It means together. And that's exactly what this plan was about, bringing everyone together, bridging the gap between rich and poor regions, and making sure no one was left behind. Then we have the 8th plan. Think 8th wonder of the world. So what is that wonder? It's a skilled, educated person. This plan was all about investing in India's greatest asset, its people. That's human resource development. The 9th plan? Oh, this one's even easier. The number 9 sounds a lot like the Hindi word nyai, which means justice. And that was the focus, social justice. See? Super simple. And for the 10th plan, I want you to picture a car shifting into top gear. To hit that top speed, what does an engine need? Fuel, right? Well, the country's economy is no different, so the 10th plan was all about the energy sector to power that incredible growth. And just like that, believe it or not, we're on the home stretch. We've covered 10 whole plans using a story and a code. Now, all that's left are the last 2 plans, and I've got one final little trick for you to remember the economic models that power them. Now, this part is actually pretty cool because it's so simple. By the time we get to the 11th plan, the main goal has evolved into inclusive and sustainable growth. Basically, growth for everyone that's built to last. So what about the 12th plan? Get this, it's the exact same goal, just with one word added to the beginning. Faster. That's it. Faster, inclusive, and sustainable growth. The mission was clear. Step on the gas. And here's why that makes perfect sense. During that 11th five-year plan, India hit its highest ever GDP growth rate, an average of 8%. So that push to go faster in the 12th plan wasn't just some random wish. It was a goal built on real, proven momentum. They knew they could do it. All right, here's our last little trick, and it takes us right back to the beginning. So every plan was based on an economic model. And yeah, the names can be a bit of a mouthful. But for the first 3, it's so easy. Just remember the letters HMS. They're already in alphabetical order for you. H for Haro Domar in the first plan, M for Mahalanobis in the second, and S for Sukhoi Chakravarti in the third. HMS, that's all you need. Okay, one more bonus model for you that might pop up. It's the John W. Miller model. And the trick here is all in how it sounds. Miller sounds a whole lot like the Hindi word Milana, which means to mix or to unite. Now think back. What was the goal of the 7th plan? To bring everyone Sath, together. So Miller, Milana, connects perfectly to the theme of the 7th plan. Pretty neat, huh? And there you have it. A story, a code, and a couple of quick tricks, all 12 plans completely demystified. You know, this whole journey from just trying to grow food to building factories to self-reliance and all the way to sustainable growth, it really leaves us with one final thought. After everything we've just walked through, if India were to launch a 13th five-year plan today, right now, what do you think its #1 focus should be? Just something to think about.